All right. So, for reasons that we spoke about, earlier on, before we met up online,
In the B-roll.
Ricardo didn't, yeah, in the B-roll, Ricardo did not bother to watch Raya and the Last Dragon. This is the latest Walt Disney Studios feature, because it's the $30 US price tag on it, right? And if it's one
That's
thing I want to,
ridiculous, man. That's the price of a DVD. It's not
yeah,
even the price of a movie ticket. Like at least if it was like
thank
eight
you.
US, somebody could justify it, you know?
Yeah, like if it
Yeah.
was like around that, I'd be like, all right, no, I get the logic of well, you're owning it permanently, blah 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 blah, but still do like, whatever. Moving on. I mean, it
Yeah,
got come out for
but
free
then
at
again, when
Patreon,
this movie comes out on home media and you pay
right?
less, think about it. You know.
No, they'll put it out because you will get it for free eventually. Like Mulan, you can watch straight one time. Right now, I don't have to pay for Mulan. Um,
Yeah, but who wants
Mhm.
to watch that shit?
well, yeah, it was trash. But
Look,
the point is,
I did kind of like it,
yeah, but
kinda.
the point is, eventually it'll come out, and I'll wait. I have no problem waiting. Whatever. I'll review it and tell you how it
Right.
is. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So yes, this is the latest. This is the latest animated feature from Walt Disney. So I will jump into what it's about. Right. It's a pretty lengthy plot, but I'll try to keep it as short as I can. Right. So this film introduces us to the fictional land of Kumandra. Right. This is pretty much a mashup of different Southeast Asia countries. So you see a bit of like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, stuff like that. So you just see like these just different architecture and just characters and skin tones and locales and all that kind of stuff, right? But essentially in this land, basically, right? This evil spirit called the Droon, like this sort of like smoky demon-looking creatures, pretty much they have the skill basically to petrify people, right? So they turn them into stone, right? And this is right after they suck the life force out, right? So it's Disney, so we can't get all graphic and stuff like that. You just suck your life force, you turn into stone, right? That's it, right? So what happens is that there are these mystical dragons who show up now, and they use their magic to basically subdue the Droon, right? In the process now, one dragon survives. This would be Sisu, who is played by Aquafina. I forgot that she
Yeah.
was in this, but yeah, she in this. Her power basically is water, right? The other dragons have various powers as well, right? So what happens is that in the process now, the as the dragons drew all the power together to vanquish these demons, a gem is formed out of it, right? Called the dragon gem. And through some circumstances, what happens is that this land, well, basically the land of Kumandra, was split into like 5 different regions, right? One of which is called Heart. So the members of Heart, right, end up guarding this dragon gem. And well, basically the guy who runs it, well, his daughter is Raya, right, who we meet as a little girl, right? So essentially, he kind of just brings the other four, tribe chieftains, whatever you want to call them, together, basically just to unify the land and all that kind of stuff. Because he believes in the dream of Kumantra, even though it's kind of like just not a reality because of what the Droon did, right? But in the process, though, young Raya meets a girl called Namari. She belongs to the land. Well, you can say the land of Fang, right? That's what it's called, right?
Right.
And she ends up betraying her basically just to acquire that gem. In the process, it's a fight, and the gem falls on the floor and it breaks into pieces. Well, 5 pieces basically. Each chieftain grabs one and runs off. In the process, Raya's father has his soul sucked out, so he becomes stone as well. And the Droon come and pretty much just kind of wipe everything out. So some well I should say well things like I should say basically the lands have changed drastically. So like in one particular area it's pure desert, some is actual forest, but they still have to be careful of the Druid and all that kind of stuff. And basically what it is just Raya just trying to find all 5 pieces of this gem. In the process, well, when she gets the second one, she meets Sisu. And yeah, she basically helps out in her journey. She also acquires the powers, well, a power, because every time they get another part of the gem, she acquires another bit of her bread, her dragon brother's powers, basically, right? So once they acquire
Right.
one, for example, she could turn human. One has the power of fog and all that kind of stuff, right? And in the process, they meet some other characters as well from different areas. The other four areas that we mentioned earlier, and it's just basically this adventure just to get all five and just to bring everything back to normal. But the main villain is Namari, who has grown up now. Her mom is still running, Fang, basically, the land there. But,
Right.
she wants the gem to basically do the same thing as well. And you have this idea of just these two characters just with the same goals, but they're just clashing over who should acquire it. And I'll stop there. So Ashton, what were your thoughts on Raya and the Last Dragon?
All right. So a couple of things that Disney's doing good. Disney is doing well to get people interested in different parts of the world, I'll say. And they're also doing well in putting out strong female leads. You know,
Yep.
flawed, but
Mm-hmm.
improving along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really like this movie. Some didn't talk about the fight choreography in the movie. It's so spot on that I could tell who fights Muay Thai and I could tell who fights Silat. So I could tell who is Indonesian. I could
Oh,
tell who's
okay. Well.
Thai.
Oh, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I was just looking at. All right. One person using sword, next person using fists and kicks and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't
Right.
even studying martial arts styles, So
Yeah, well,
wow, there,
definitely
points
Fang
for
and
Disney for
them.
that. Like,
Yeah, Fang is Thailand, and the Heart, they're Indonesian because they fight Silat.
right.
I could see that from the fighting style, the way they hold the weapons, the
Mm-hmm.
choice of attacks too. A lot of you could fight from the ground. Anyway, really good martial arts in this movie. I I like the auxiliary characters and their importance. So we're talking about Raya's on the journey now. She has one colleague with her, and along the way, she's gonna pick up more and more and more. Everybody from a different nation. There's 5 nations, um, and every nation represents a part of a dragon. So where the gem was kept was called Heart. Fang is
Mm-hmm.
Fang. That's up by where the mouth is. Then there's Tail, Talon, and one other that, of course, escapes me. Right, but it was good.
Oh,
It
that
was
would be Spine actually. How could I forget Spine? And
Spine,
one of my favorite
right?
characters
Spine,
from this show was from Spine actually.
right? Oh, you're talking about the big man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. Um, and then it gets very formulaic, I should say. You know, it got very. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This will happen
True.
because of this, and then it happened exactly as that. So I mean, if predictability in a movie is something that you don't like, it might, you know, throw you off a little bit, but I don't think it was a main concern. Aquafina, yo, her voice is so unique. I find it
I
brings,
know, right? Yeah, I
yeah,
was just
it brings so much to a
loving hearing her
character.
voice on screen. Like this, every time she came on, every time she spoke, I was like, I just love this character. I just love her voice in the read. So
Yo,
yeah, shout out to
I,
Aquafina, Trent.
I
I
love
love her.
her and everything she's done, even Crazy Rich Asians. Yo, she made that movie for me.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
like, yo, I love this movie because of Aquafina. She is so funny. And she's hilarious, you know. Um, Rest of the cast, I am obviously not familiar with. I mean, some voices sound familiar to me.
I was
Um,
actually surprised. I was actually impressed, I should say, by Kelly Marie Tran. You know what I mean? She plays Raya, and I thought that she was great too. I just had a little issue, but oh gosh, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, man, it's a Disney movie. Just shut up, right? Where
mhm.
she sounds the same exact way that she did as a kid. So you see her like young and whatnot, and then 5 years pass, and she literally sounds the same exact way. You know what I mean? So. And I don't know. It's just one of those kind of, oh gosh, those one of those nitpick moments, but still it's like, all right. But voice acting though, I thought that she was great though. You know what I mean?
But oh yeah, yeah. Also, a nice thing about the show is that they have creatures that amalgamation of other creatures. Something I really like in anything. I always like that kind of. We're gonna take this little dragonfly and we're gonna make this dragonfly and take this lizard and make them a dragon lizard. Very Avatar-ish. Also, that's the next thing. This show reminded me of Avatar. This movie reminded me of
Oh, it
Avatar,
is very, very Avatar
right?
inspired.
Very,
Right? Yeah.
yeah, very Avatar-ish, right? Also, I don't know if you did, but right after I watched the movie, I googled the movie. So I googled legends or myths of Kumandra, and it's a real thing.
Okay.
Obviously,
Okay.
right? That's a real thing, and Sisu is a real thing as well. Like that,
Wow. Well, okay. I did
yeah.
not know that actually.
That's a
That's
thing in
dope. Yeah.
itself. That's it's and as I said, it's very Southeast Asian, so it's very Indonesian in its background.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously they borrow the influence of the Chinese dragon and whatever other mythos and have a combination of their own type of looking dragon, right? Shorter snout, um, more rounded heads, that kind of thing. Yeah. So it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well too. It's no soul, we like that scene that
Oh yeah. There's
every
definitely not no
Walt
soul there.
Disney, Walt Disney Animation Studios film have to be as great as a Pixar film, and that's seeing that. But it is very, very, very enjoyable, and I actually would have loved to see this in theaters because I had to watch it on my monitor, but still, I had fun with it and all that, right? I dug the characters, just how lively they were, not overly complex, but you do understand the motivations of nearly everyone involved, right?
Everybody,
Um,
everybody.
mm. The visuals for this are breathtaking though. These are some really, really gorgeous looking visuals though. From the cinematography to the lighting to just the set design and all that kind of stuff. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking movie though. Voice acting I thought was great as well. I read later on that there was some controversy because why aren't there Southeast Asian actors doing the voices? It's merely Asian actors, and that's not what we want from a movie about Southeast Asia. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, look, at least the point is y'all got Asian actors to be in this show, with the exception of
Baby steps, baby steps.
yeah. The like the only oh gosh, like the only non Asian actor I could think of who was in this was Alan Tudyk, and he plays an animal. He plays this is a mix of an armadillo and I think it's like a bug or something called Tuk Tuk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk played that character. Like come on, deal with it now. Shit.
Let me tell you
But yeah,
something.
dude.
That's Hollywood's push to promote Asian to promote Asians. Yeah, to promote the Asian
Yeah,
culture and the Asian representation then in
yeah.
movies. Because look, just now we're gonna have Shang-Chi.
Oh
Right.
You know,
yes. Oh, I
I
can't
know
wait
that's
for that.
a little off brand and well actually it's not off brand, it's on
No, it's
brand.
Disney franchise, bro.
Disney, I forgot that Disney owns everything.
Yes, 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 they do.
Oh, and you guys know like next week is Falcon time.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We know about the
Yeah, yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We
Everybody
know.
just yeah. After WandaVision,
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody can't wait to see what
yeah,
happens with
for sure,
that.
for sure.
Yo, I'm most
Yeah,
excited for Loki though.
yeah. I'm gonna bring up Disney Plus at the end of my thoughts on the film, right? But that's
Right. Oh
bringing that up.
yes. So Raya,
Yeah,
Raya,
but
real good.
yeah, but it no, it's good. I just want to wrap up here, right? So yeah, Raya as a character, as a Disney princess is one of the best I've seen in a long while actually. I mean, I'm not like someone who's versed in all things Disney princess, but in terms of this is the 2020s and this is what we get in here. Yeah, I dug that, right? I really love how determined she was, and I love that she had this personal flaw about her. It's a team that runs throughout the show, basically her not wanting to trust anyone because of what happened to her with Namari and what happened to her dad, right? As a result of that, right? And even though they do kind of like always remind you, this is why I don't trust anyone. Trust, 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 trust. It's still a really strong team that will resonate with not just with adults but kids as well. You know what I mean? Um, Speaking of kids and adults, do yeah, you know what I mean. Everyone will have a blast watching this. I really dug how fast, you know what I mean. Well, I should say the story went. You know what I mean. It didn't waste any time. Ever so often they will have to stop to explain. Okay, this is the world. They'll show you certain things, explain why they are who they are. But you know, I understand that in terms of world building, right? And yes, you could easily compare this to Avatar. You know what I mean. Legend of Korra, that kind of world, right? And I have no problem with that. To be honest, but also dug the action sequences. I dug how fast and how the camera movements were and all that kind of stuff. Also in particular the fight scenes themselves. You know what I mean? You see like how you touch on certain martial arts styles and all that kind of stuff. I was just looking at how fluid they moved, and I was like, yeah, would do like in a Disney movie. Well, yeah, you know what I mean? Well, sorry, a Disney animated film, because yes, we did get stuff like that sort of with we got the wushu stuff with sorry, the wuxia stuff with Mulan, right? The live action version of Mulan. But just seeing, that Southeast Asian martial art styles incorporated into a Hollywood film is like, what that we talking about, right? Um even though Namari as an antagonist as well to it, and in true, well, okay, I also love the fact that they had a less intent on killing Raya. Like, she's not like this uber villain who just concerned about killing her, right? She has a motive, she has a purpose. And, just to touch quickly on just one gripe, that I had with the show, and I know a lot of people will have with the show, is admittedly that it is on the formulaic side of things, which isn't bad. You know what I mean? It's one of
Right.
those, okay, we have to kind of stay true to the formula that we know that we refined for decades now. But still, when you're watching a show that's, new, quote unquote, and original, quote unquote, you kind of know where things are going to play out, right? When they happen. It's like, all right, I know they're going to get out of this here. I know this is going to happen here. And that tends to kind of lessen the real tension of what's going on. I know there are moments where it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? I know that's what they're aiming for, but still in your head you're like, nah, they can't get over that, man. Fine, man. Shit, whatever, right? So yeah, that may make or break, one's overall enjoyment of the show. But still, despite all that, though, there is a lot to enjoy. Whether it's the voice acting, whether it's the music. James Newton Howard did the music for this too. The what else? The just the look of the film and just the feel of the film, right? Yeah. So this is a solid film. This is one that will you will enjoy yourself while you're watching all 1 hour and 35 minutes and change of this, right? And speaking of change, just to get to rating now, in terms of it being worth 30 US by, if it were up to me, me honestly though, I wouldn't spend that amount just to watch this. That's not to say the movie is bad or it's trash, but oh gosh, man, like when it comes out on, 4K Ultra UHD, whatever you want to call it, right? It will cost that same amount, trade, and you gain a Blu-ray and a DVD of the same movie, trade. Sorry, you get a 4K Blu-ray and you get a Blu-ray of the same movie, trade. So, why am I gonna spend that amount to see it at home? I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things you just have to think about, though. But I would say it is worth the money, and I would say like if you go see it on big screen, like in the theaters, it's worth the money. As far as watching it home with Disney Plus and paying $30, no. So for me, rating wise, this gets a strong 4 to 5. Man, this I absolutely enjoy this though. This will be a crowd. This is an absolute crowd pleaser in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, if you're watching it in the house or you see it on big screen, yeah, you are going to enjoy this. Unless you just yeah, unless you like real jaded and you just hate everything, Disney. You know what I mean? You probably would not like this at all. But I would say though, just in closing, if you're expecting something to be totally, if you expected this to be totally different in terms of the formula, you may be a little let down by it. But there's still a lot in it to make up for that, right? In my opinion. Ashton, final words and rating.
Yeah, final words on rating. This movie was enjoyable. 30 US? Nah. Like, that price needs to be logical. Disney can't think that they could make money off already subscribing people by charging them 30 US for a movie. That's ridiculous. For whatever reason, to own or whatever, because that's digital. Um, Martial arts in this movie was real good. As somebody that loves martial arts and could recognize the styles and the techniques, it was really, really good. And I would give this movie a 7.5 reels out of 10.
All right, cool. Yeah. So Ricardo, we've answered your question. Hopefully, it's not worth 30 US.
Right.
Yeah, you could probably spend that amount, Dread, on just buying it on Blu-ray or 4K, wherever it is, Dread. But do see it when it makes itself available. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, well, I'll find it.
Yeah. Hey, this is Matthew Bailey, and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of the BS Beats and Bailey podcast. If you'd like to hear the full episode, hit up my link tree. On the other side of my head are 2 videos you can check out. Like this video if you like it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell as well. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, take care, peace.